This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Avoiding your unfinished home projects because you're not sure where to start? Thumbtack knows homes, so you don't have to. Don't know the difference between matte paint finish and satin? Or what that clunking sound from your dryer is? With Thumbtack, you don't have to be a home pro. You just have to hire one. You can hire top-rated pros, see price estimates, and read reviews, all on the app. Download today.
Come to DSW for the shoes, stay for the fun. Because, let's be honest, if shoe shopping isn't fun, are you even doing it right? So go ahead, try something new. Try something different. Good different. Try something that feels like you. You know, the real you. And then definitely brag about it later. Because at DSW, you've got unlimited freedom to play. Find the shoes that get you at prices that get your budget at DSW stores or at DSW.com. Let us surprise you.
From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, don't worry about me, I called ART.
Traffic. For construction delays on Southeast Boulevard northbound from I-35 to 31st Street. From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, that's your Odyssey Wichita traffic.
Weather. Cloudy, breezy, and cold today. High 26, north winds 10 to 20 and gusty. Pretty good chance of snow showers this afternoon, less than an inch of accumulation. Clearing and very cold tonight, -3 is the low, could feel like -15. Becoming mostly cloudy, staying cold Saturday, high 19. Sunny and milder Sunday, high 42. That's your forecast from Storm Team 12. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn.
More than 200 members of Congress are standing up for AM radio listeners. The AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act will keep AM radio in cars, because when cell and internet services are down, this free service could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 39179. Tell Congress to pass this critical legislation now.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
The Jim Rome Show. Sam Darnold will play in the Super Bowl before Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen will. And no, I'm not looking for anyone to apologize to the man, but I am looking for everyone to put some respect on the man. He flat out earned it.
Jim Rome, afternoons at 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH, Wichita's most listened to sports radio.
Dude, you gotta hear this.
Go ahead. I think I want to hear this.
Sports Daily is on KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. We've got Kevin Saal waiting. Thanks to Prayer Fire Coffee for keeping us warm as we get cold again this weekend. We do bring in Wichita State Athletic Director Kevin Saal to the program. Kevin, thanks for being here.
Hey, good morning, Jacob. How are you? I missed Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday, and certainly appreciate joining you on a Friday. What's the promotion today?
Well, you know, we don't have any Hawaiian shirts on today. We do, you know, if we're going for style advice, our pals over at 35 by 70 Golf Co. have some cold weather gear. I don't know if they've got, you know, like thermal jackets or whatever we're going to need this weekend for this weather, but that's what we've got going here. It's been an eventful week in the news side, sort of college athletics away from the games, Kevin. You know, chronologically, it started with the news that you guys were forced to downsize the athletic department. I know you've had statements out about that. I'm sure that's been a pretty miserable week in that capacity for you guys. But, you know, what's happening there? And then obviously it speaks to the bigger picture we'll be talking about with some of the stuff in Topeka and things today.
Yeah, no question. We, you know, I think TJ and I had a chance to connect on this yesterday, and you look at the global climate and environment of athletics. We've talked about for more than 2 years on your show the finances that are associated with this and how those continue to escalate in new demanding areas, and it requires that we do an incredibly good job at raising additional revenue. We sold 600 new season tickets, and did a nice job prior to the season. And it looks like we're gonna hit and potentially exceed our single game budgeted revenue goal. So all that revenue piece is really important. But looking for new revenue streams is equally as important, and trying to solve the overall formula with as many revenue pathways as possible, which really gets you into the state conversation that TJ and I talked about yesterday. But then there's also the reallocation and getting really lean and efficient with what you have to do, and those are painful decisions. They touch really good people and their families, which makes it incredibly difficult. I will share, just obviously we can't speak on specific personnel matters, but as we said in our statement, that WSU athletics and most athletic departments across the country, Jacob, you can do a quick Google search and you can look to see University of Kansas drop 30 plus positions in the summer. Doesn't make it easy, but sometimes the hard right, trumps the easy wrong. And these are hard right decisions to make to ensure the viability of your program. And it's going on all over the place, right? So we're evaluating the best structure for us to right size our operations, remain competitive within Division I. And we have equally tough decisions down the road that we're going to have to make in order to navigate. At the end of the day, everybody understands that men's basketball is the financial engine that allows our department to do a lot of really nice things, and we have to feed it in a particular way so that it benefits not only the athletics department, but what happens at the university level in terms of student recruitment and campus life and exposure and media and all those things that are incredibly beneficial. So, again, a lot of different pressures and a lot of ways to navigate that, but we're not alone in terms of staff reductions. It's very unfortunate, but it is a sign of the times in terms of the current athletics climate.
Yeah, Kevin, you and I kind of talked about this a little bit yesterday, not for Wichita State specifically, kind of broadly speaking here, the landscape, we said it's made it squeeze a little tighter regardless of what was going on at the NCAA. Anything 10 years, everything is more expensive in the world. Everything is harder to budget for, everything of that nature. Now that the House settlement has gone into play, it makes the pressures, maybe multiply a little bit. Is that the best way to say that?
I think so, because if you look at it just from a mechanics standpoint, TJ, the House settlement did a couple of things, right? It solved the retroactive NIL component, which equates to reduction in distributions from the NCAA to the membership. So let me be clear in terms of what that means. If the NCAA was sending a check for X 2 years ago to Wichita State, that total is now X minus $700,000 because that's our obligation to pay for the House settlement. Additionally, it cleared the way for roster maximums, right? So in order to be competitive, you've got to spend more dollars on scholarships, which is great. It's more opportunities for young people, and that piece exists. And then you have the revenue share component, where sharing of revenue is another expense stream. So there's just really quickly, there's two examples of increased expense outlays and at the same time decreased revenue. It doesn't take a genius to understand that you can't have a whole lot of that without making some really tough decisions. And those tough decisions, they touch people. You have to recognize the personal aspect of that. They touch really good people. And at the end of the day, there's not an athletic director in the country, if you put all 365 of them in a room, that would say they're in the business to reduce opportunities. That's not what we're doing this for. But at the end of the day, we're also in a position of leadership and fiduciary responsibility where we have to find a pathway for each of our respective organizations, and that involves some tough decisions.
Yeah, the fiduciary responsibility is when, Kevin, people, anytime like guys like that, there's a budget, it has to be a budget, it has to be balanced. But I'll tell you on a personal level, what bugs me sometimes about the broader conversation, though, is I don't want to take what I believe is the correct thing, which is different player compensation than we saw, a generation ago, and act like that is the only issue that needs to be solved. Because I watch coaching buyouts, Wichita State's not immune to this, but across the country, some that are just cartoonish buyouts. And I'm like, where are people upset about some of those things? Are coaches leaving programs after a year, or holding them hostage and building the buyouts to begin with? Like, there's a lot of issues at play. It's not just that players are now being compensated. At least that sort of bugs me a little bit, because it still, to me, feels like that was the right thing to do.
In terms of compensating student athletes?
Yes.
Yes, and I agree with you. I think it is the right thing to do. I think every director of athletics, again, there's 365 of them, gets out of bed every morning making their best efforts to make the right decisions. Just make the next right decision for your department. And we've seen coaching hires go really, really well, and we've seen coaching hires that don't go well. We've seen coaches that leave for other institutions. We've seen massive buyouts. And unfortunately, that is a part of the business. It's not an attractive part of the business. But the goal here is to, from my perspective, the goal is to make right decisions in terms of personnel and lean in. Get in the trenches with them. Lean in. Develop, improve, because I do think that there is this notion of, man, we're going to have one or two bad seasons, and let's just cut the cord. Let's sign on to a really massive buyout and put our department in an even more difficult position. And so you have to balance all of those things in terms of your revenue streams and your expenses. If ticket sales and donations are decreasing significantly, then you've got some decisions you have to make, and you got to balance all those things. So there is no one right answer, but every place is different. Every place has positive attributes about it. Every place has obstacles and challenges. And so it's up to the director of athletics, the executive team, the head coaches to navigate your specific environment to produce and maximize success as best you can.
While not directly connected to this conversation, it kind of comes in the same breath that athletic departments are having to be more and more creative. That brings up what happened at the state level that is now making its way across the news cycles. You, Gene Taylor at K-State, and Travis Goff at KU, amongst others, basically went to the State House and are kind of, bringing up the conversation of potentially help funding, I guess is the best way to put that, if you want to speak a little bit about that.
Well, as you and I talked about yesterday, TJ, we really haven't even gotten to the help funding component.
Yeah. That's the idea.
There's a mutual interest on both sides, from the state perspective and from the institutional perspective, to make sure that we're all dealing with the same information pool. And one critical piece of information into that is that the three Division I athletics departments in the state of Kansas contribute $1.55 billion in economic impact last year to the state of Kansas. The Chiefs are incredibly important, and that is such a huge win for the state of Kansas. But I will share and echo my colleague in Manhattan's statements to say that these three athletic departments are critically important to the economic viability of the state of Kansas as well. And so when you talk about competitive, you can really look at a narrow lens and say, yeah, we got to win basketball games or softball or baseball. It's more than that. The competition leads to success and exposure, leads to student enrollment, campus life, student engagement, leads to the economic development components. I mean, guys, just one example, we're hosting the state high school track championship. We talk about it each May. We've set 2 consecutive records. We had 31,000 people. That's great competitively, right? It's great for the state. It's an awesome event. It's also really good for the businesses in Wichita in Sedgwick County, because it contributes $7 million of direct economic impact to Wichita and Sedgwick County. And 6 of that comes from outside the county. So these are really important conversations for us to be having, because the last thing that you want is for K-State, KU, and or Wichita State to slip competitively because we're not investing in the things that are going to be required for us to be highly competitive on a national stage. And then that $1.55 billion, we look up in 5 years and it's $1.2 billion, and we're wondering what's happened. And so I think it's a proactive conversation. It is a desired conversation on both sides, and we'll continue to have that conversation and see if any solutions present themselves.
I know you don't have any of the details on any of that and can't give them yet because it's too early. I mean, I wonder if there's a sales tax component similar to the Chiefs, but even broader than that, Kevin, like I hope that you guys, I hope this becomes a purple issue. I don't envy doing anything to try to get politicians to agree. We nationally, I don't know if you saw this yesterday, you have a Republican senator who is in sort of a part of the national conversations that are trying to be had with solving some of this stuff. But in that saying, well, XYZ needs to happen with employment because if not, we'll have unions and unions vote Democrat. And I'm like, okay, like we got to be able to put that stuff aside. I think you guys will have a better time at the state level, like we saw with the Chiefs, but good luck. Good luck. Like that stuff gets muddy and messy.
Well, these are hard conversations, right? At the end of the day, we haven't even gotten to a mechanism. We haven't even gotten to if we're going to explore a mechanism yet. The efforts right now, I want to be really clear that the efforts right now have simply been a mutual desire for everybody to be educated on the challenges and struggles that the three athletic programs in this state are facing in a new athletics climate, and to determine if there are any solutions associated with that. And we'll continue those conversations. It's a formula, guys. That's one aspect of it. And there are so many other areas where we can be good stewards of our dollars, where we can raise more dollars, but keep our products reasonable for our fans. All of those elements we've got to balance.
Kevin, we appreciate you making some time. Good luck. Safe travels for Tulsa this weekend. Massive Shocker games. We'll let you get back to it, TJ, and I'll talk about that game.
We got a huge game on Sunday. So Memphis woke up and beat Florida Atlantic yesterday, and we're one game out of first. So we got a big one on Sunday.
We're all over it in the next hour. Kevin, we appreciate it. Thank you. Safe travels.
All right. Take care, guys. Go Shockers.
All right, here goes Kevin Saal, Wichita State Athletic Director. We'll be right back.
This is 97.5 and 1240 KFH, Wichita, K248CY Wichita, KNSS HD2 Clearwater, and Odyssey Sports Station.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
If you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or personal loans, help is here. More and more Americans turn to credit cards to get by. National Debt Relief is helping qualified clients reduce what they owe. For many, continuing to struggle making minimum monthly payments could take years to pay off. National Debt Relief has already helped over 550,000 Americans reduce their debt by negotiating directly with their creditors. When you call, you'll be amazed at how much you can save and how quickly you can become debt-free. If you want off the debt treadmill, visit nationaldebtrelief.com today. You don't need to declare bankruptcy, and you may qualify for significant debt relief. To find out what savings you may qualify for, simply visit nationaldebtrelief.com. That's nationaldebtrelief.com.
This is attorney Omid Azari from Azari Law. If you've been injured in an accident and feel like no one is fighting for you, it's time to fight back. Call Azari Law at 888-828-HURT. Just with one call, you can put a proven legal team on your side. Azari Law has been serving the DMV for over 15 years, proudly fighting for our local community. I was born and raised right here in the DMV, and my team is made up of experienced, reputable local attorneys dedicated to fighting for injury victims just like you. Follow us on all social platforms at azari.law. That's AZARI.LAW. Don't wait, don't settle. Fight back with Azari Law. With offices in Maryland, D.C., and Virginia, my team and I are ready to stand up for you. Call 888-828-HURT. That's 888-828-HURT. And let us fight back for you.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Get it? With the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
What does it mean to live a brave life? It's about showing up, staying grounded, and having the physical and mental energy to handle the pace of life. And that is one of the reasons to love Ancient and Brave and their pure, potent, powerful supplements. Ancient and Brave has been an iconic wellness brand in the UK for years, and now they've launched in the US with incredible products that change the game, like their True Creatine and True Collagen. They come in gorgeous jars or on-the-go sachets for wherever you're off to. Ancient and Brave is a certified B Corp and members of 1% for the Planet. They offer tools that genuinely support and nourish your brave, backed by scientists and experts. Right now, Ancient and Brave is offering an exclusive offer. Head to ancientandbrave.com and use the code EMMA for 20% off your first order. Give your body a little daily bravery. It adds up. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.